How many times do you say to yourself, "I'll do that tomorrow," or "I'll do that when I feel better"? What about saying, "I'm very tired now," or "I can do that after I finish this creative thing"? Like most of us, you probably rely on these excuses too much, and as you've probably noticed, bouncing from one excuse to another means that we are literally driving our lives into chaos. So why do we surround ourselves with excuses, and how can we break this cycle? This is the question that Brian Tracy set out to answer, and this summary will teach you how to apply his findings in your life by the time you finish hearing this summary. You will learn what the 7-step method is and what a disaster report is and how you can use it to overcome your fears. Why delaying gratification can give you freedom. Chapter 1: Accepting responsibility and achieving success. Have you ever looked at another person and thought about how they are doing it, even though that person may not have more time, money, or resources than you do? It still seems as if he's accomplishing more effortlessly. Al Tracy tells you that there is no mystery to the success of such people. The truth is that their success lies in the simple practice of self-discipline. The common denominator of every successful person is a commitment to eliminating excuses. The benefits of self-discipline are not limited to a secret group of people. Who discovered all that? But first you have to start taking responsibility for your life and remove the excuses from your mind. The first of those excuses is that you don't have enough knowledge to start, but what about learning something new? What new information can revolutionize your routine? One limitation may be the fact that you don't yet have the knowledge you need to be better. Accepting that is what enables you to be humble as you learn from others. But accepting responsibility is also the first step to eliminating excuses. Whatever you lack in your life, whatever you want to change, it is as important as it is to own it and resist the temptation to throw away. Blaming your flaws on others. Brian Tracy learned this the hard way. It was this discovery that prompted him to write No Excuses, because after finding himself in a dead-end job at the age of 21 with little money, no success, and no sense of personal satisfaction, he realized that it was all due to his habit of blaming his childhood and lack of education. But once he realized that, he immediately set about redirecting his toxic thought patterns. He began buying self-help books and learning everything he could about self-improvement. He began putting more effort into his job and giving 100% of himself to everything he was doing. By making a simple effort to change the negative aspects of his life, he could not. Tracy not only retrained his brain, but charted a new path to personal success. Chapter 2: The 7-step method. At the beginning of every new year, you find us making decisions and writing down things that we would like to accomplish, but few people are willing to commit to them. This happens almost at the beginning of every year. The writer offers us a solution to this dilemma, which is the 7-step method. The first step is to set a goal that is not a general goal, such as losing weight, but rather a specific and realistic goal, such as losing a specific number of kilograms. Step 2: Write down your specific goal. Step 3: Set a realistic deadline to achieve your goal. If we fail to determine the amount of time and effort we will need to accomplish something, is one of the biggest reasons why our resolutions fail. So when you are realistic about your goal, make sure you are also realistic about how long it will take to complete it. And if you have a long-term goal, do not be afraid to break it down into small, manageable parts. Step 4: Write a list of everything you need to achieve your goal. This includes everything from the difficulties you may encounter while trying to achieve your goal to the tools you will need. Step 5: Identify and prioritize the most useful tasks. Add them to your calendar and complete the high-priority tasks first. Step 6: Start your tasks immediately. Even if you start small, take at least one practical step to accomplish something right now. Step 7: Do something every day that helps you achieve your goal. Sometimes that small thing you can do every day can be as simple as asking for advice. From Others, Chapter 3, Disaster Report. What are you afraid of? I am not talking about chaos here, such as spiders or heights, but rather about the deep fears that prevent you from achieving your goals. Are you afraid of failure? Afraid of being unnoticed? Whatever your fear, the most important thing you should know is that it does not. It should hold you back. Even though you may feel like you can't overcome your fears sometimes, our fears are not hardwired into our brains because we learn to fear things throughout our lives. Thus, we can control these fears and not learn them. One of the best ways to get rid of fears is to complete what Brian Tracy calls disaster reporting is 4 simple steps, and it works as follows. Step 1. Describe your fears clearly. What exactly you are afraid of, what you think will happen, whether you write it down or explain it to yourself out loud. Be specific about the parameters of your fear. Step 2. Identify the worst-case scenario. Oftentimes we are so paralyzed by fears that we fail to weigh things rationally, so take a few moments to think about the worst thing that could happen. If your fear comes true and face that possibility while doing so, you may find that your fear is a bit irrational and that it wouldn't be so bad if the worst actually happened, or that your fear suddenly seems more manageable. Step 3. Mental pardon for finding solutions to the worst-case scenario. After you've done knowing the scariest possible outcome, came up with some creative solutions. What would you do if it came to that? Suppose, for example, that you are afraid to make an investment because you are afraid that things will go wrong and that you will lose all your money if this is the worst-case scenario. One solution is to acknowledge that you can find a way to recover this money, or you can reduce the risks and invest less of your income so that you're confident that there is a safety net you can fall back on, no matter the worst-case scenario in your country. Always find a solution that helps you reduce your fears. Acknowledging this is also a great first step because part of fear paralysis comes from our unwillingness to even face what we fear. Steps 4. Taking practical steps to ensure that the worst does not happen. Scenario. This may seem like the most obvious statement because of course we don't want our worst fears to come true, but what practical steps can we take to try to prevent that from happening? Asking ourselves what we can do today to make our future safer is a great way to remind ourselves that our fear does not control us, but we must control ourselves. Training yourself to face your fears immediately is another useful step you can take. Chapter 4. Self-discipline determines your success. If you are running your own business, it is crucial that you be aware of the willpower, consistency, and determination that attracts successful management of this work schedule. Statistics indicate that the average business owner works approximately more than 60 hours a week, so you will need to implement a method CONI, which means continuous and never-ending improvement, and here is how it works. You know, of course, that when you start a new project, you need to write a business plan and define the main things, such as the target market, pricing strategy, marketing methods, etc., but you should also know that this business plan is not everything. No matter how well it is serving you at the moment, there will come a point where your current strategy fails to work for you, and that is why you must constantly look for new ways to improve. This is how you avoid the failures of companies like Blockbuster that collapsed because they refused to adapt to the changing market. Weakness in considering that a successful business is one that is constantly improving, and to lead this business to success you must always strive to challenge yourself, improve it, and do the same. It applies to every employee or partner. Although you may not be responsible for the growth of an entire business, you are 100% responsible for your growth, and maximizing your sense of personal responsibility can actually help you grow. Chapter 5. The Way It's All About Time Management. For more on this topic, we invite you to listen to a summary of the book, 15 Secrets That Successful People Know About Time Management. The link is in the description box. The author mentioned the ABCD method in greater detail in his book. Start with the most important thing, even if it is difficult. It is a simple method as it seems, and it is the best way to get rid of procrastination in your life, because frankly, isn't procrastination the root of all our excuses? You can start getting rid of your excuses by following these simple steps. These are your tasks that you should do. They are the things that you should do first, and ignoring them leads to major negative consequences. You should do them while you should definitely do them. You probably won't die if you don't accomplish these things. Good work tasks fall into this category. Think about writing a card to a friend or calling a relative. These are great things, and you should definitely do them if you can, but don't prioritize them over a presentation that could cost you your job. These are the tasks which can be delegated to others. Often when we take on responsibilities, we assume that we have to do everything on our own, but in reality, some things can be delegated to people we trust and who are willing to help us shoulder some of the burden. So if you can delegate a quick task to your partner, put it in category D and go get things done in category A. These are non-essential tasks because these things are neither necessary nor nice. Or a task that does not need to be done and may even be distractions. Ignore it and focus on your main goals. Chapter 6. Avoid This Egg Tuesday. Any book about eliminating excuses and self-discipline must talk about exercise at some point, because exercise is one of the most common things we make excuses for if we want to be healthy. To be truly successful, incorporating some exercise into our lifestyle is not just a good idea. It is also very necessary to follow healthy eating habits, equally important, and one of the best ways to develop these habits is the Thinking Peak Weight Loss Program. This program was developed by Brian Tracy as an integral part of the No Excuses ideology. It encourages users to eliminate the 3 eggs from their diet. These, of course, are sugar, salt, and flour. The first steps begin with eliminating all the sugars in your diet. It is true that you will definitely miss sugary sweets, sweet drinks, and sugar in your morning coffee, but making this choice requires a clear definition of your priorities, because if your priorities are to be healthier, you cannot go wrong with a diet that helps you lose 1 pound a day and increase your energy and increase your focus. To really maximize these benefits, you should also eliminate salt from your meals, French fries, and last but not least, eliminate all white flour products like bread and pastries from your diet as well. You might be thinking that we are just asking you to eliminate anything that tastes good, and you might be on the right track. Right, but as is the case with every decision without excuses, it's all about priorities. Sacrifice is an essential element in any healthy eating pattern. If your goal is to see real results in losing weight and getting fit, this is a proven way to get here. Chapter 7. Improve your personal relationships. No excuses also mean no regret. When you eliminate procrastination as an option and discipline yourself to set your goals, there will be fewer occasions when you will have to look back and say, "I wish I had done that." Our personal relationships are often one of our biggest sources of regret, and as such they represent the perfect frontier for self-improvement. So take a look at your relationships and identify what you need to improve. Would you like to spend more time with your children? Do you need to remind your family that they are a priority, no matter what you want to change? The ability to reject excuses that hinder your relationships. You can start by committing to spending more time with your family or practicing tolerance if you need to. Learning tolerance is one of the most important steps to achieving happiness. It is also important for accepting responsibility. Since we often blame our parents for the problems we face as adults, it is easy to use this blame as a way to shift responsibility away from ourselves. After all, if we are spoiled by our parents, then our toxic patterns, it can't really be our fault, can it? This is wrong thinking. While we can't control the past experiences that shaped us, we are 100% responsible for what we do in our lives today. So if there's anyone you need to forgive or anything you need to let go of, get rid of those excuses today. Conclusion: excuses are all around us, and it is easy to take advantage of them, but choosing the easy path will not bring us happiness or success. Instead, it is the quickest way to ensure that we will wake up one day and find ourselves unhappy and wonder how we got to be this way. If you want to take yourself back and find success, happiness, and freedom, you have to say no to excuses and cultivate self-discipline. You were with a summary of the book No Excuses by Brian Tracy that I presented to you.